얼마 말? 3만.
經過衰啲啊！呢隻
喺飛機場睇唔好意思啊。邊個想食飯嘅？係啊！哇！我都講咩？過年食咩？食元寶啊！呢個餅好好啊！呢個好食。你可以拍。擺低，收電話，收電話，收埋就擺低啊！收電話。
Wait, I don't have this one.
Oh yeah?
Hell yeah.
Always standard, like a game room, karaoke room, every single room.
花舊豆瞓咗天。
花牛豆咯，即係完全
花牛豆呢樣嘢我係比較
貴咗，因為佢可以咁㗎。
唔係遮晒，全部遮晒。
哦，
好煙咁。
係啦，銀行就係嗰個橋都係咪？這個就是 Eric 的 office。
嗰度係俾人瞓覺位。
我哋睇一睇就知。
Blood is greened out.
Bro, my guy's zoned out, bro.
Oh, you guys want to share like a crispy shrimp?
Yeah, sure. Let's just share something.
Crispy shrimp. Or a taco, maybe? This one? Oh, that's good.
I just want to say I ate and I'm like, I don't know.
I should ask, bro.
Or pancakes. No, we gotta get pancakes. Though. We gotta get pancakes.
What's either this?
The French, yes?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
I told you.
No. That looks like fucking.
With the senior set? With the
Keep quiet, man.
With the chocolate chip?
Appreciate it. Thank you. What the?
That's an 8, 16.
That's why I love you, bro.
Alright, take one, bro.
Okay, time now is 6:43 p.m. on January 6th. I'm just gonna quickly I'm going to play pretend once again. It's actually January 1st and it's day 7 of the trip. And it's 2025. I'm gonna quickly go over what happened that day. So yeah, I had a pretty surprisingly okay sleep. I think I was able to fall asleep. I was able to adapt to my parents snoring. And I was able to sleep quite well. I woke up at around 11. And then pretty much immediately we went downstairs and my mom made cup noodles. I don't want to eat cup noodles for breakfast. So instead we directly went to Redmond Town Center, which is literally already there the moment we left the hotel. We walked out of the hotel, and by we I mean me, my parents, my brother, my cousin's mom, my aunt, the Godfather's entire family. We all went out and we went to a Korean restaurant called Bon, and we just sat there and we had breakfast slash lunch, brunch. Cream pancakes that tasted great. We had this huge pot of dumpling pork belly, kimchi. We had tteokbokki as well, and it was pretty fantastic actually. My dad found it really spicy, but honestly, in such a cold, wet day, eating spicy dumplings with kimchi is a great combination. But yeah, I was in a foul mood. I didn't want to talk to anyone. But a little bit later, the Godfather's son treated everyone to bubble tea, and by everyone I mean all the kids. We all had bubble tea, boba. I had a mango green milk tea, and it's pretty good. And he's doing that because it's his last day in this trip. Continuing forward, we went to escape room. So we went back to the hotel and then we went out again. This time my aunt and my uncle basically drove us to the escape room place, which is also in Redmond, where we played escape room. This is my first escape room in my entire life. I've never played escape room before. But I wasn't particularly nervous about it because, again, I wasn't nervous by anything. I was prepared to be underwhelmed by it, but who knows. And it turns out it's actually really fun. We picked the most difficult escape room out of all the rooms. There were like 6 or 7 kinds of rooms, and we picked the most difficult one. And essentially, me, my cousins, my brother, the Godfather's son and daughter, my brother's friend, and my uncle went in. And we had 1 hour to solve the puzzle, and it's 2 rooms. But we only had access to the first room. We had to unlock a bunch of stuff before the second room opens up. Essentially, we are thieves in a museum, in an art museum. We're trying to steal a gemstone before the police arrives 1 hour later. And we have to solve a bunch of puzzles. So it was fun. And low-key, I thought that I'm going to ace it because I'm smart and I'm concentrated and I'm calm and I know things. And low-key, I did really well. The thing is, I'm not actually a smart person. in the traditional sense. Like yeah, sure, I do believe that I have a pretty good IQ. I can memorize things pretty well. I can notice changes. I can notice patterns pretty well. And I do know a bit of knowledge. But I'm an art person at the end of the day. But even so, I was able to solve a couple puzzles. There's this very confusing, like, two plaques have the same paragraph, but some words, some letters are switched out, and we overthought that puzzle, and that took us a while. It's just a lot of people stuck in one room, overthinking and trying to connect things to one another. It's really stupid. Like, at some point, my uncle received an iPad, and if you scan the iPad on some paintings, the paintings start talking. And also, I can't film in the room, obviously. And one of the clues is like, when you touch hands, you're going to form a current. And we actually tried to touch hands, which I thought was really stupid. Like, why would they create this weird electromagnetic thing where if players touch hands, we're going to solve a problem? And turns out they're right. There actually are like two hidden handprints on the walls. And if you touch those handprints and then have like three people touch each other, it actually forms a current and it unlocks a trapdoor. That was like the most impressive moment. And then it unlocks more clues, and there's this phone thing. And then the cabinet pushes open. Oh yeah, at some point we have to match a couple plaques to match the paintings. And even though I'm not like the most acknowledged person in art history, at least I know what is American Goth and what is the lady with the pearl earrings. And I was like, oh, that's Grant Wood, that's Vermeer, that's Jan van Eyck. I saw the Arnolfini portrait, and I remember studying art history last year. By that I mean 2023. And they were like, ooh, he knows. So anyways, we went to the second room, and the first room is more like you solve one puzzle and then you solve the next one and you solve the next one. The second room is like 4 puzzles at once. There's this word clue. I received multiple pieces of like black plastic but with cut out holes, and I can immediately tell it's like you put onto a piece of paper and it highlights certain words. So I did that, and me and my brother, we solved one of the puzzles, and that leads to another crossword puzzle, or not crossword, it's just a bunch of random letters, and then you need to find a word within those random letters, and then it forms four letters, and then there's like a bunch of 3 clocks that tells different time, and I thought that, and then there are like 2 locks, so I thought that these 3 times correlate to time zones, and I tried to unlock the lock with the time zones, but I'm wrong. Turns out I'm overthinking it. We need to think of the time in South Africa, and the time in South Africa, which is 1:17 p.m., is the lock. And then there's this weird clicking machine, and we're like trying to count the clicks, but actually it's not that complicated. We don't need to count it. We just need to click like 4 times and 5 times and 3 times. There were 4 wheels. You probably have no idea what I'm saying. It's okay. It's confusing. But we actually ran out of time. So 1 hour has passed, and we messed up. We were so close to finishing it. We also got really fast by the end. Yeah. So, yeah, we finished the escape room, and it was fun, and I got to socialize with the people again. And we went to Hui Lao San for dessert. I got double skim milk pudding with mango, which tastes pretty good. But again, I was also already really full. And then we went to Marshall's, which is again really boring. But it's like the 19th fucking time I'm at a clothing store during this trip. I'm gonna buy something. So I actually started like testing out clothes. I actually thought of, what kind of fashion fits me more. So I eventually singled out a few dark green short sleeve shirts, because I thought I should recreate the wearing long-sleeved white undershirt and then a green t-shirt on top, a la Kurt Cobain. But I'm gonna do it because it's good with me. I texted Michelle. I was like, does this look good on me? And Michelle was like, yeah, it does. So I'm like, oh, sure. I can't really ask anyone else. But yeah, I eventually got a $10 shirt. It was kind of dirty, but I got a shirt. So that's that. And I talked more to my cousins because they were also looking at buying stuff. And then I'm going to end it here because I'm going to go to Ralph's now. Okay, so let's finish off the second half of day 7. After Marshall's, we immediately, and it was like 5:30 p.m. Again, really early dinners. We went to Little Garden, which is a Chinese restaurant where the boss, where the staff and the boss and everyone speaks Cantonese, sorta. And it's cool that we get to eat a lot of Chinese food, and holy fucking shit. This is, the last few days we've been eating a lot. This is the pinnacle. That day was the pinnacle. My stomach was so bloated and I was so full. It was insane. So, all the boys sat together. So me, my brother's friend, my 2 cousins, the godfather's son, and my brother. How many people was that? That was quite a few people. We were on one long table, and the the table behind me, the circular table, is everyone else, the parents, etc., and also the godfather's daughter. So the food began to come, and it was great. It was fantastic. It started off with bitter melon fried with beef. Then we have a tofu plate. Then the meat started coming: fried chicken, roast duck, all Chinese styled, of course. And it kept coming and coming and coming. Pig feet. And it was really great. And sitting opposite me, the godfather's son is doing most of the passing along and like, oh, you need a bowl of soup? Give me your bowl, I'm the big guy there and I did nothing. So I tried to like initiate and be like, oh, do you want beef? Jesus. So yeah, we ate and ate and ate and ate, and at some point we realized it's too much food. And for some reason, the boys, especially my cousins, they were the ones starting this. They were like, you know what? Let's see who can eat the most. So suddenly it's turned into a competition. Because, like, we can't waste food. And I get that. So they started, like, eating more and more and more. And it started to become, like, a little bit too much. Like, everybody's doing it. And I could feel, like, the tension. Maybe I'm just very sensitive to this kind of stuff. Whenever I feel like there's a tension, I feel it. My mom turned around and she's like, whoa, these kids, they are still eating. Wow, they're not full yet. So she and other people started bringing more plates over from the round table to our table. So we get more and more food. And every time we think we're done, another dish shows up. Another dish shows up. My brother and my elder cousin went outside and had a walk just to digest a little bit. And they came back and they continued. Like, they walked and they came back and suddenly more dishes appeared. And they're like, no. And my godfather's son gave more food to my younger cousin's plate. And my younger cousin was like, what the fuck? Why are you putting so much meat on my plate? I can't finish this. Not again. What the fuck? And we kept eating and eating and eating. And I felt a bit left out, so I also tried to force myself to eat. I tried to eat pig feet, and it was so greasy and bland. That was the one dish that I didn't like. I actually wanted to throw up. I drank 2 bowls of soup as well. And they kept eating and eating and eating and eating. And I think my younger cousin and my brother's friend are the people who ate the most. But it was so greasy and messy and dirty, and we kept eating and eating and eating. It was fucking horrifying. It came straight out of a horror film, and I started filming them. And I don't usually film people, especially people who know me. When I do, I have very good reason. So they kept eating and eating and eating. And apparently the number was 21. We finished 21 plates of food, which is insane. It's historical, really. And we were all just leaning back against the chair. And honestly, kind of pisses me off a little bit because because the parents, they think we're eating because we're hungry. But I know that the fact is we're eating because we're forcing ourselves to eat. It's like toxic masculinity. The more you eat, the more manly you are. But more so, I'm traumatized by this. I left the restaurant. My mom asked me, how's the food? Is it delicious? And I responded by saying, I've seen many films in over the last month. This is the most horrifying thing I've seen. Which is such a crazy answer. So that was bad, and it kind of ruined my mood a little bit. And the kids, they want to go to IHOP as well, even though all of us were deadly full. So we went to Microsoft building where my uncle works. Pretty cool place. I've been there. We took a lot of photos. And again, I'm kind of aloof. I'm like distanced from everyone suddenly because I'm in a bad-ish mood. At some point, my elder cousin, like, we would run across multiple whiteboards, and my elder cousin would draw because my elder cousin's a drawing guy, you know. And he would draw, and my mom's like, "Oh, he's drawing again. Take a look, you know. That's a true artist." And I feel kind of left out because I've been learning and trying to draw over the last year or so. So at some point, I'm like, cool. So I also drew a face, like a Loomis head, on a whiteboard, and the people in general are like, "Ooh," kind of surprised that I'm actually able to draw as well. But it's nothing compared to what my elder cousin's drawing. He drew, and it's one take, like no lines, no drawing guide, no erasing. It's a profile of a guy in a cowboy hat holding a pistol with an arm reached out. Yeah. Anyways. We took a bunch of photos after visiting the Microsoft offices. And the kids, they all bonded very well, and they wanted to imitate Chinese moms. Like these Chinese mom photos where they do silly poses. It was my brother's friend's idea. But they couldn't finish it without me because they don't have enough people. So I'm like, fine. So I formed a star-shaped pose where everyone sort of like hold each other's hands and we form a star. And we did another pose where we sort of do this. It's very silly and it was a good laugh. And then, yeah, so I was distanced from them and then I socialized with them, so I'm closer to them. And then finally we went to IHOP. I honestly was really full, but you know what, screw it. This is my second time having IHOP, so my elder cousin ordered fried shrimp, but I got tres leches pancakes, somebody got chocolate chips, somebody got banana cream, etc. And then we tried a little bit of each, and then I'm done. We're all done. At some point, my younger cousin became very calorie aware, and he's like, "Oh my god, I probably ate 4,500 calories today." And it's funny because the kids, including my brother, they had cup noodles in the morning. I did not. So they had it more than me. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. I made a crazy Instagram story. I said, just met my 4,500 calorie today. Cardiovascular conundrum incoming, parenthesis. It's okay because I have a blood pressure of a vampire, parenthesis. And then another parenthesis saying, still autistic, parenthesis, which is such an insane story. Naja saw it and was like, "Oh my god, your stories need to be studied." Matt saw it and typed dog, like DAWG, dog. That's it. So I guess maybe according to Matt, this is the most cinematic, like the most cinematically tasteful thing he's seen from me is an Instagram story. However, Jiayun, I was thinking quite a bit about Jiayun because a couple of days ago, Jiayun wanted to call me and I was like, "Oh my god, that's too aggressive." Like, maybe if Jiayun distanced herself from me a little bit, I would enjoy the moment more. But for some reason, the moment Jiayun stops talking to me, I start to feel a bit lonely again. I wish she would be talking to me. So that's how I felt on day 7. 3 more days to go.
Were you again? Just telling me, bro. I thought it.
Hello world. Time now is 10:53 a.m. on January 3rd, and it's been 8 days or maybe 9 since I filmed one of these. And it's also the first, this kind of video since 2025. I'm so zonked out of my mind. Like this is weird. This is like the only moment in this entire trip since day 2 where I have solitude. Aside from being in the bathroom, of course, but like literally every single moment on this trip I was with someone. My parents' bed over here, so before bed I can't film one of these, but this morning both my parents are outside. So I can't speak much because I'm gonna have to leave soon. There's a lot to catch up on. I just want to say that I slept on this shitty ass fucking bed. This is a sofa bed, and it doesn't work, and I feel cold and it's uncomfortable. But I did fall asleep, and I had this insane dream where me and maybe 3 other friends, we tried to like beat this Minecraft map, but it was in real life. And it was kind of like this adventure, like stuff like that, but it's also kind of like horror. The whole thing happened in the sky. It was like this complicated structure, and it was like a deconstructed school, like a deconstructed secondary school or primary school, but there are these giant steps where we walk down the stairs, but each step, like sometimes the step would be like 2 stories tall or like a whole story tall or something, where we can't climb back up. Okay, so my speech is interrupted and I can't film at all. I'm sorry, I need to go now. My face is fucked because I'm stressed out, I guess. And the bed sheets and the blankets and the shower towels are dirty, I guess. So my face is getting fucked again. And my wrist is still hurting. Which, of course you have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm a time traveler, bitch. Okay, time now is 2:43 a.m. in the morning on January 7th. But you know what it is? Let's play pretend. It's actually day 8 of the trip, aka January 2nd. Woke up at the hotel at Redmond again. Slept from 3:45 to 10:30 a.m. Less than 7 hours. Not cool, but who cares? And first thing first, I ate a banana. Second thing, the whole gang, all of us went to that same we all went to Redmond Town Center again. There's a ramen restaurant, and they're like, let's eat ramen for breakfast. Or again, it's just that's breakfast for me. Some people, they woke up earlier and they ate like eggs and potatoes for breakfast provided by the hotel. I don't do that. So I went to that ramen restaurant. It's called Kizuki Ramen, and I ordered a yuzu shio ramen. Because yuzu is like citrus, so and I need that. I need something like citrusy, acidic. And I sat with my younger cousin, and then my godfather's son treated everyone to boba. That did not happen on January 1st. That happened on January 2nd. I have everything mixed up. I'm sorry. Yeah, so another very boring day where nothing happens. Went back to the hotel, and then, yeah, went back to the hotel for a little bit, and then went out again, where me and my mom and my dad and my brother went to my brother's homestay, my brother's host family, where he stays, and that is not a cockroach. And we went there and we sat down a little bit, and I weighed myself. I'm at 144 pounds, bruh. It's okay. And we left again. And we went to this U.S. bank at Factoria, which is kind of near Redmond. It's like right beside Redmond, small town where everyone's Chinese slash from Hong Kong. And yeah, waited there for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, where my mom helped my brother open a bank account. And I sat down, and my dad sat beside me, and my aunt also sat down, and we talked a little bit, reflecting on this trip. And it's one of the few moments where I actually talked to people during the trip. And then after that, we went back to my brother's homestay, and I had a haircut. So my brother's host is this woman from Guangzhou, or maybe Hong Kong, I think Guangzhou, and she is actually a barber. And her house, the basement of her house, aka where my brother is living at right now, as we speak. It's funny because right now I sometimes imagine that I'm in Hong Kong now. Like, I'm so used to the idea that my brother's in a different time zone than me, but that's not true. My brother's in the same time zone as me as we speak. So his host gave me a haircut, and I was kind of scared at first because my hair is very easy to be messed up, because my hair is very complicated, and it appears that the only person who can safely cut my hair without completely ruining it is my mom's friend, who is a barber. But my mom's friend is in Hong Kong, obviously. So, I was kind of scared at first. A couple days before, I asked my mom to ask the guy how to cut my hair. And the guy was like, just trim here and trim there. So that's exactly what my brother's host did. And boy, oh boy, it's decent. My hair right now is decent. The change is not that noticeable, but like the back, it's like thinner, and also both sides thinner. But also he made this part shorter, and by doing so, the hair actually has like a little bounce now. There's a little volume to my hair, which is perfect actually. And of course, I wasn't really used to this hairstyle at first. At first, my head just looked really round, but I think I'm getting used to it, and honestly, not too bad. If it grows a little longer, I'm gonna look a little bit more emo. Kind of fits with my style. A little bit later, my cousins and my cousin's mom, aka aunt, arrived, and we had a humongous dinner that is so good it's restaurant levels, because we had pig feet, pig ear, and hold on. We had pig feet, pig ear, and drunken chicken, and they're all like in nice bowls with sesame seeds and cilantro on top. my brother's host and her sister were cooking, and her sister was, I think, one of the chefs in that Chinese restaurant I had at the day before, the one where I almost vomited. Not really. And then we had a lamb bowl where it's a giant pot and it's a lamb and tofu, fermented tofu sauce, and it was delicious and I ate a lot of food. And I weighed myself, and holy shit, I'm at 148 pounds. I've never been this heavy in my entire life, and also I gained 10 pounds in this trip. Right before leaving to Seattle, I was at 138 pounds. So I gained 10 fucking pounds, and yeah. Then I socialized with my cousins and my brother, which they were at my brother's bedroom, and they were just talking, listening to music. And I just joined in casually, and I talked to my younger cousin about hip-hop. And my younger cousin, despite having a black British accent and being, I guess, pretends to be very in touch with hip-hop culture, I somehow know more than him about hip-hop culture. So that's kind of hilarious. Yeah, Jayun still silent. Jayun is still quiet. Don't know why. I guess I just kind of disappeared. And several thoughts go through my head, and I try my best not to do that. I don't want to overthink. But, yeah, at some point I thought, what if she suddenly disliked me? What if I said something wrong? But, like, saying something wrong is, like, literally in 2022, Pepper... Like, I do that with Pepper. 2023, I do that with Leslie. I do that with people all the time. I'm always thinking, what if I said something wrong? But you know what? Nothing's wrong. It's okay. Jayun barely knows me. But it's a bit unsettling that she's so quiet. Anyways, more acne has appeared on my face, one on my nose, as you can see, which sucked ass. I don't know why. I would like to blame Seattle, because when I suddenly live with a lot of people, I get stressed out, plus the fact that I'm eating a lot of food. But honestly, the more probable theory is that throughout most of December, I was really stressed by the exams and everything. And that stress and the lack of sleep made me fuck up my face, so now I have this. So, gracias, muchos gracias. Finally, I watched Daisies, the Czech film, on YouTube. I can't watch movies and animes on those websites when I'm in that hotel because I'm using a public Wi-Fi where you don't need a password. If you're in that building, you can access that Wi-Fi. And those websites do not work on a public Wi-Fi, which fucking sucked. I can use mobile data. In fact, I use mobile data like a hotspot for a bit, but then I found out that Daisy is actually on YouTube. So, yeah. So that's day 8.
搞笑，好搞笑。18 seconds. Wait, what were we doing?
The whole movie is confusing. It's so calm, brother.
No one's here. No one's.
Hey! Certified Slayer! Verified Zombie Bay! Dim sums!
Congratulations, Beta Team. Your mission is
Beta.
teamwork. You've been rewarded premium weapons. Play Deadwood Phobia to access your free art.
冇，你有冇紅衣喺嗰度？Okie dokie, time now is 3:43 a.m. on January 8th, but you know what? Let's play pretend. It's actually January 3rd right now. What the fuck? And it's day 9 of the Seattle trip. So I had a crazy ass dream. I had an absolutely insane dream. And it's been a while since I've had a dream this vivid. I woke up on my bed. At around 10:30 a.m. naturally. After less than 7 hours of sleep, which is fine. Who fucking cares? And when I woke up, neither of my parents are in the room, which is very intriguing. And for a moment, I thought that half of the world's population have disappeared, and now both my parents are gone. But I know it's not true, but it's a fun little thought experiment. But nonetheless, it was kind of confusing, and I woke up thinking, hey, at least I could film myself talk now. But not long after that, my mom came back, or my dad came back, I forgot. So on that day, or no, my dad came back. My mom is gone. My mom and all the women went to spa, and all the men went to Totem Lake. So today, my dad, my brother, my cousins, me, and I believe my brother's friend, and also my mom's friend, who is the mom of my brother's friend, and my uncle. We all went to Totem Lake. It's the third time I've been there. It's basically the Grove, but in Seattle. Yeah, with a lack of better word, it's basically the Grove, but in Seattle. It's a nice little village in the middle of nowhere, some town, some gentrified small village where it's just nothing but more fancy restaurants and etc. We went there and we went to 571 Burger Shack. And fun fact, it's the second time I've been to that fucking restaurant. I went there once already with my mom and my aunt in December 2021. And we ordered a bunch of food. I ordered a pulled pork burger. That's my breakfast, a whole fucking burger. And yeah, plus like just water. And then some waffle fries. And it was good. I made a mess. It was good. It was fine. It was whatever. And then we walked around. There's Barnes and Noble. So of course, me being me, I went in and I looked at the Criterion section. Again, it's very sad. Very small section, but nonetheless still pretty impressive. I saw In the Mood for Love. I saw a Sammo Hung film there. I showed it to my dad, and my dad's surprised that there's even Hong Kong films. But it's Criterion, come on. And then I looked at the mangas, and then my cousins, they tried to move away from mangas, and they tried to read books because you're intellectual. And they start reading, like, Barnes & Noble, even though it's a cool book place, it's also, like, most of the books there are, like, the basics, like Edgar Allan Poe, like, Agatha Christie, like, the usuals. And they went there and they started reading. The elder cousin started reading Mark Twain's A Tale of Two Cities. And my younger cousin started reading Homer's The Odyssey because he knows that Nolan's next film is going to be about the Odyssey. But neither of them really know what's going on. My elder cousin's reading it, and he's like, I understand all the words, but I don't know what any of it really means when they all come together. I feel like I need to start reading something else. And same here, man. I don't read enough, so I look at books and I'm intimidated. But I find myself still more literate than my cousins. And by that I mean, I saw Murakami, and I'm like, I know Murakami. I'm reading Kafka on the Shore. I saw 100 Years of Solitude, and I'm like, I want to read that. I saw Edgar Allan Poe, and of course I was slightly interested, but I saw Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce, and I'm like, this is like the Inland Empire of literature. So I read it a little bit, and oh my god, this book does not make any sense. And it really interested me. Anyways, I got Norwegian Wood, and my uncle was like, hey, you guys can buy some books. And I'm like, really? So I actually got myself a book. My uncle bought it for me. My younger cousin and my older cousin also bought the books they were reading. And that's pretty crazy. And I brought it back with me. So that's wild. That's whack. I have Norwegian Wood right now. And then we went to a cafe and we waited for a bit. I didn't drink anything. And then we went to VR. So we played VR, virtual reality, where we are at this place called Sandbox. It's also at Totem Lake. And we wear goggles. We put on this pad suit, and we wear these little gadgets on our wrists, and both right and left wrists, and also feet, our ankles. And they're essentially trackers. They track where you are for the VR. And again, at that point, I was kind of distanced from the kids. I didn't talk much, and I was bored as fuck. But then the VR thing happened, and that was fun. That was way more fun than I had imagined. It's not as fun as Escape Room, but it's still kind of fun. Like, me, my cousins, my uncle, my brother, and my brother's friend, we played this VR game called Deadwood, where we are a team, like a SWAT team with a bunch of guns, and we went into this abandoned science lab, and there are zombies, and we need to save 3 lives. And so that's the game, and you just shoot stuff. We have our own weapons. I traded weapons with my brother at some point. I got an automatic rifle at first, and then I got another automatic weapon. I'm only choosing automatic weapons. I'm bad at every other weapon. Automatic weapons are easy, okay? You just pull the trigger and it goes boom, boom, boom. And also infinite ammo, so it's like, it's very easy actually. But it was fun. Like, we wore VR goggles, and it was like, it wasn't that disorienting for me. Maybe I'm just like, I'm not easily swayed by my environment. Like, if the floor breaks down in front of me right now, I probably wouldn't react to it. I just think, haha, that's cute. And that actually did happen. Like, a floor did break underneath our feet at some point, and I'm just like, haha, that's funny. At some point, it was kind of like a hole in the wall where we were on a platform, and it's going towards, like, through a tunnel, and different doors open, and every door opening is like another level, another wave of zombies, and every wave of zombies different. And sometimes there would be spike coming from this way, sometimes there would be spikes coming this way, and I had to dodge them. And you can die, but you can immediately revive if someone touches your shoulder. So, and I did pretty well. Surprisingly, I didn't come last in the leaderboards at the end. Like, surprisingly, I was like in the middle. My brother had a higher score than me, but I had higher accuracy than my brother. And unexpectedly, my elder cousin was number 1. He's so good at shooting games. I get it. TF2, yay. But yeah, it's fun, and that took about an hour, and then we went to a boba place later called Don't Yell at Me. I got a lychee smoothie thing. My elder cousin sitting next to me, he turned on Spotify, and he saw join someone's jam. So, assuming this is the Spotify session for the restaurant's music. So he hijacked onto it, and he played, I told him to play Better Call Saul theme, and he actually did, and the whole boba store is playing Better Call Saul theme. It's fucking hilarious. So that was the actual highlight of the day. And then immediately after that, we had Korean barbecue also at Totem Lake. Full fucking day at Totem Lake. We milked every last drop of Totem Lake. At this point, I know Totem Lake even more than the Grove. Like, I went to the Cinemark there. I went to Barnes & Noble there. I've been to Whole Foods there. I've been to Target there. I played VR there. I've had Korean barbecue there. It's insane. So, Korean barbecue, everyone reunited there, and the kids, they all walked away suddenly, and I'm like, where did you go? And they were like, oh, we put down our stuff with our uncle, and I'm like, great. So I went to my uncle, and I was like, I need to put down my stuff, and my uncle left again, so great, I'm so super out of the loop. So we had Korean barbecue, and it's 3 tables. The kids, and by that I mean my brother, my brother's friend, and my 2 cousins, they're on one table, me, my dad, my aunt, and my grandma on another table, and the next table is the other adults. So naturally, the kids' table, they're going to eat the most. And my table is going to eat the least, because my grandma and my aunt doesn't have a lot of appetite. And also, I'm the one ordering, so we ordered multiple. The rules is that we can order 3 plates of meats at once, and only 3, max. And we have to finish them all before the waiter comes back. So I fucking went in and I ordered like seafood, I had pork belly, etc, etc, etc. And it was great. I ate a lot of food. Obviously, the kids' table, they kept ordering tons and tons and tons. But I was satisfied with the amount I ate. I was very satisfied. And that's pretty much it. And then as if they're not full enough, my brother and my brother's friend went for some ice cream at Salt and Straw, which is interesting. I thought Salt and Straw is like only in Culver City, but somehow it's found in fucking Totem Lake. Yeah. So we went back home and that's it. As I went back home, I began to feel very anxious. And that is because that day was January 3rd. And on January 4th morning, I'm supposed to meet Jiayun. And for the last few days, Jiayun has been quiet. And I DM'd Jiayun like, yo, let's pick a spot a few days ago. And then she's not responding. And earlier on that day, January 3rd, I responded, yo, yo, no response. All night, no response. And I'm beginning to be anxious. I began to feel kind of frustrated. Why aren't you telling me things? Like, why are you ignoring me? I just felt very impatient, and I was in a pretty bad freaking mood. I hate this feeling. I kept checking my phone to see if I have new notifications. Even if I do have an Instagram notification, it's like from an Instagram group that I don't even talk at all. So it's very frustrating, and I was kind of pissed. I waited and waited and waited. I was so pissed. I told Michelle about it. That didn't help. And at some point I thought, okay, here's what I'm going to do. If by 10:30 p.m. I still don't have an answer, I'm going to just tell her, if you want to meet me at Bellevue Square tomorrow morning. At like 9:30 or something. And then I'll go to bed. And hopefully she reads it next morning and does it. Or maybe she doesn't and it's, who fucking cares? So I waited and waited and waited and finally she responded. Very late at night, at like 10 p.m.-ish. She's like, oh, sorry, I didn't read your message. I've been on the grind. And may I remind you, Jiayun went to Seattle from January 3rd to 4th to meet with like a myriad of friends. And I was like, oh, it's okay. And I told Jiayun, so are we meeting tomorrow? And Jiayun was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm too tired. Like, I don't think we can meet tomorrow. I don't think we can do brekkie together. She's being so quirky. Brekkie, brekkie. We're going Australian on this one. Brekkie. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm prepared to be disappointed. I am born and raised in a way where I can, like, I'm immune to disappointments at this point. Like, I am constantly disappointed in life, and I'm fucking immune to it at this point. So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then we talked a little more. Apparently, Jiayun is on the grind because she's applying for this scholarship called Anti-Gravity, and she, like, wrote this script about, like, a girl who goes into college and tries to enter a sorority, but turns out it's hell. Like, it's like The Substance, where all the girls are super hot and pretty and talented, and she has to do the same, and it drives her insane. And it's also about generational trauma, because her mom went through the same. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool script. And then she mentioned how, oh, I've been, like, spending the last 3 hours working on this sci-fi feature film script with this other guy. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, I was like, wow, you sound like, and she was like, oh, I'm kind of worried about next semester, honestly, because I just have so much going on. Like, I already have, like, a huge, like, she sent me a screenshot of her conversation with another guy, some other random guy, and it's like this guy was like, "Hey, Jayun, how's it going? How is the break? How is winter break?" And I'm reaching out to you because I am making a 310, and I've heard your British accent and you're so good. Would you be interested to be my dialect coach? What the fuck? Why? Like, okay, I can do a British accent too. I can do a Scottish accent. I did a fucking Scottish accent when I played Macbeth back in Form 4. Okay? What the hell is Giant doing being so needlessly talented? Maybe be a bit lamer, Have you considered being a bit more worthless? Like, why are you so worthy? Like what's wrong with you? And also, like, it's psychotic. It's demented. I'm reading this and I'm like, 310 people of the next semester is already preparing for their own shorts? That's fucking psychotic. They're getting dialect coaches and they're asking a Chinese girl to teach them British accent. It's not making any sense. Why are you so talented? I don't know what's going on. So I was like, great, haha. And then Giant's response was like, "Oh, I'd love to, but I have this huge shoot in mid-February, so if it's in February, then I'm not sure." And I'm just thinking, like, Giant sounds like she has 19 internships, 23 summer camps, and 54 film sets in the next semester. Like, she's already booked one semester, by the way. One fucking semester in USC, and she's already world star famous. She's en route to be the next Steven Spielberg. Like, what is going on? I know Steven Spielberg didn't even get into USC. That's hilarious. She's getting asked to be dialect coaches? What? So at this point, I had several thoughts. One is, so close yet so far. It's kind of like Justin T. It's kind of like back in summer when I and Justin T were gonna hang out and we ended up not hanging out even though we're literally in the same city. This was Jayun. Jayun's in North Bellevue. And I was staying at the Marriott Redmond Inn. We are kind of close, even though we're still half an hour apart. But the thing is, she needs to meet her friend Chloe at Pike Place Market at 11 a.m. So it's basically impossible to get breakfast with me, which is, again, understandable because she's already really tired. She doesn't want to wake up early. I don't want to wake up early. Also, I'm not a morning person. I would be dead inside like a zombie anyways. Plus, I had acne on my face. I looked like a clown. I looked like Red-Nosed the Reindeer. Like, Randolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, I'm not in the best condition to meet her. I get it. So close yet so far. Second of all, she's really giving Ariel. She's like, if Ariel is Asian and 4 years younger. And also, she being so busy with, like, talents and stuff makes me feel like it's very unfeasible for me to even get close to her. And she's also constantly surrounded by guy friends. And she's too positive. Maybe she's a bit too easy to read. So, I don't know. At that point, I thought, why even pursue Jayun? Like, why even, Like, she's not gonna be like, she feels like the kind of person who's just very casual about relationships. Like, oh, haha, it's just a situationship. I mean, I'm so busy with film sets and everything. I meet him, like, once every 5 weeks. And we grab coffee and that's it. And then I continue with, like, grinding and winning and slaying and queening, like, yeah, maybe she's not it. Maybe she's not the one for me. But yeah, that's basically day 9.